Hey guys, I'm EJ. Welcome to Loki. Come on in. So it's super duper rewarding to be traveling in it because I finally had this huge wave of just liberating freedom. Hey, welcome to the kitchen. And right here is where I have my refrigerator, my fruit basket, and utensils. And this countertop is made out of 2 pieces of wood covered in concrete, but then I thought it still looked really boring, so I threw some green paint on it. Still looked boring, so I threw some gold paint on it, and I put a resin coat on top. And I used my hands and a fork to make the edge look like a real piece of rock. And my sink, I put the sink in and then molded the concrete up so it looked like it was sitting in the rock. It cracked, but I think it made it look even cooler. And this came out of my garage. It was just laying around, and it fit perfectly. So up here, I have all my pastas and grains that I cook with my stove, and one of them fell, but that's alright. And then this is my shelf where I keep all my knickknacks, favorite books, and my projector. So this is my screen, and it just velcros to the other side, and then I put the projector right here, and it projects right up there. And it has a thing where you can download movies, so if I don't have Wi-Fi, I can still watch all the shows and movies I want to. You might notice that it's pretty tall in here. I'm 5'6" for reference, and it's 6'4" in total. Me and my dad worked on this bus, and we were able to get it raised a foot because he's pretty tall, and he had to do this in the bus all the time. So under my cabinets, I have just bowls and snacks, and then my propane tanks for my propane stove. And then under this one, I have my drain for my sink and a little trash can and some extra sponges. I have a 40-gallon water tank under my back couch, and the drain holds 5 gallons. Me and my sister, this is our first big trip together, and so far, I think we've used about half the tank, and we've been gone for only 10 days. So I decided to paint gold leaf on my kitchen to give it the more Loki feel. So I have the green countertop and the Loki designs. And this wall right here is my Marvel themed wall, except for Joker and the Batman, just ignore them. And then on this wall I have animals and time travel themed. And then this one is random designs, and then this one is my second favorite, and it kind of represents me. It's a little girl who's a dreamer, and she grows up into a lady. So when I was coming up for the design of my bus, I spent a day writing down everything that I did, and one of the things I did was go to the bathroom, and another thing I did was take a shower, so I knew I wanted those 2 things in my bus, but I didn't want it to take up too much space. And I also wanted a lot of counter space, so I incorporated it in my counter space. So I can lift up my counter, and then my light's attached to it now, but this chain can attach here so it doesn't fall down, but it does stay up on its own. And then this door comes out, and here's my shower head that connects to my sink. This bucket right here is my shower, and to take a shower, all you have to do is remove the toilet and pick up the shower curtain, which I currently did not bring because we were planning on staying at Planet Fitness's and using those showers. And then I also have a little bit of storage in the back, so I have my pillows back there and my propane stove. And when I want to cook, I just take that out and put it on top of my counter. It really was 2 conversations I had that were the nails in the coffin. I had one conversation with my friend. I call him Tall Jake, but his name's just Jake. He, last summer, just got up and went to Colorado for a month in his RV with his dad, and I thought that was the coolest thing, and I just was angry that I was stuck at home, and I couldn't just go out like that. And then we were driving, me and my dad were driving back to my school upstate, and I noticed that the drive felt shorter, and each time it felt shorter and shorter, and I eventually mentioned it to my dad. I was like, why does the drive keep feeling shorter and shorter? So my dad's response to me saying that the trip was shorter was when you travel and you're traveling to new places, it feels longer, just like when you listen to a really good song for the first time. The first time you listen to the song, it's really, really long. It feels really long, and then the second time it feels shorter and shorter and shorter, just like life and traveling. And he said the key to feeling like you've lived a long life is just constantly traveling and seeing new things. And that was just the final nail in the coffin. That was it. I needed to get a bus or an RV, but I didn't like how an RV was already made, and I wanted to build it myself and learn how to build it myself. And then I bought the bus, brought it home, and I was nervous what my parents' responses were going to be. My dad's response was perfect. He said, let's go, let's get started, and grabbed some tools, and we gutted it and then built this whole thing. So it's super duper rewarding to be traveling in it. My first trip was my practice trip, as just going to Boone to see some friends, and I cried the whole way, happy tears the whole time, because I finally had this huge, like wave of just liberating freedom. There was nothing stopping me from doing literally anything, and that's a feeling I don't want to ever let go of. So this is my guest bed. It pulls out into a twin bed, and I don't know much about electrical, but thankfully my dad took the time to research it and really dive deep into everything we needed to know about electrical. And so underneath here we have an inverter and a battery and a lot of other wires. And we have 200-watt solar panels on the roof. So welcome to the bedroom area. These two couches pull together to make a twin-size bed, and it fits perfectly for me and my sisters. We've slept in it every night so far, and it's been great. My dad slept in it by himself when we went on our first trip on Father's Day, and he didn't like the heat, but he liked the bed. I made these cushions with foam from Joanna's and fabric from Walmart and a lot of staples. So these two pieces of wood come up, and this one can't anymore because this is where we decided to put our water tank. But this one comes up. It's difficult, but it comes up. And under there I have my hose for my water tank, clothes, a backup generator thing to start the bus if it dies, which hopefully it doesn't. And I think that's about it. That's under there. So I had to beg my mom, but she let me have her hammock that she got in Guatemala. And I just hook it over here. And this is my favorite part. And back here I have curtains that cover every single window. And then I have this large sheet that velcros under here, so you feel completely enclosed when you're trying to sleep at night. And this piece of wood, I haven't quite finished yet. I'm going to paint a mural on it. I just don't know what yet. So me and my dad got in a little tussle. I painted all these pieces of wood white, and he put them up with my neighbor and my friend Mikey, who's a football player and a little too strong, so that's why some of them are cracked. But they're in. But as soon as we got them all in, I noticed something was missing. I didn't quite know what it was, so I made my dad take them all back down. Realized it was lights. So I drilled 340 holes and took fiber optic lights and put them in each one, pulled them through, and then cut them where I wanted them. And so at nighttime, not only does it completely light up the entire bus so I can see everything at night, it also looks like a really cool starry sky. So up here, these are the fiber optic lights. So each one of these strings were pulled and put into a hole. And then I have the switch for the sink, which is a tad inconvenient, but we're working on it. And then I can't really store much back here because this is where all the wiring is to get to the sink and the water pump, and these two run to the solar panels. Welcome to the cab area. This is where I store all my stuff when I'm not driving. It has my bath stuff and all the essentials. I have my fan, which is pretty nice. This will eventually come out because it's takes up too much space, and as soon as that comes out, I'm going to create a shoe rack for all my shoes in the corner. But I chose to put turf here because it's not glued down or anything, so I can take it out and easily wash all the dirt off. And I have my cute little welcome mat, so it feels a little bit more homey. So the bus itself was originally $4,500, but I'm a pretty good negotiator, got them down to $3,000. I bought the bus from this guy in Virginia, and I think he had 9 kids, and so he needed a large vehicle to drive his kids in, and he did that for a long time until all of his kids moved out, and then he turned it into a work bus. So he had just workbenches on both sides, so it made gutting it pretty easy. Well, pretty easy. It was hard, but easier than I expected. And then the roof raise and the paint job combined was $5,000. Don't know how we did it, but we did it. And then all the things that I got separate, like solar panels, refrigerator, water pump, all of that equaled about $1,500. So the total cost of the entire bus build was $12,000, which I made DoorDashing, so pretty easy, just download the app. And for $12,000 to have my own home at 20 years old and being able to travel wherever I want at 20 years old still blows my mind, even though it's happening right now. Welcome to the outside of Loki. Until I get my rock climbing walls put on the back, this is what I use to climb up to get on top to watch sunsets with my friends. So with the roof raise, we cut it here and right under the windows and raised the windows and then put new ribs across and then covered it in sheet metal. And then I had to go with green because the bus's name is Loki. So we chose a light colored green because I didn't want it to be too dark, attract too much heat. And I really like this color because when I'm in the trees, I kind of blend in with them. So my mom was really worried about me hitting things, understandably. So last minute, I wired this in myself and I wired in a backup camera. It's been extremely helpful. I don't have to worry about hitting anything. I don't have to constantly ask my sister, hey, is there anything behind me? I have my own little screen in the front that tells me if there's anything behind me. If you want to see any of the pictures or videos that I've taken on my trip so far, which I plan to take more in the future, you can follow my Instagram at Loki_the_Skoolie, or my TikTok, which is the same username, Loki_the_Skoolie. Thanks for coming in, guys. Hope you enjoyed seeing my home.